What is up, everybody? My name is Matt. You're watching J&M Simulations. Today, gonna be flying. Gonna do a. What I wanted to do today was just a pretty much full-fledged flight with the PMDG 777. Just as like a. How do I put this? I don't know. Just to be able to experience, so you guys can experience, a full flight with this aircraft. Just with full FMC work, full overhead panel and everything like that, as far and as well as a full approach and stuff such as that. So without further ado, we're gonna get started. Today we're gonna be flying from Montreal down to Boston, both of which are FlyTampa sceneries, which I've just purchased recently. Yeah, so I guess we're just gonna get right into it, and get our aircraft ready to go. So I'm sorry I've been quite absent lately as far as doing videos. It's been kind of hard just with everything going on. It's a little bit difficult to get videos out as often as I would like to, but Jason has been doing a good job of getting videos out, and I'm going to try and follow his lead and try and get this out. The reason I wanted to do this as well was because I wanted to sorry, just finding it out here. I wanted to get out a video in which you guys could see the full the full FMC related things with the PMDG 777, as a lot of people can kind of get a little bit nervous when using the complex FMC for the first time. So I kind of wanted to just bring that to ease people a little bit by doing an entire video. We're pretty much utilizing the FMC the entire time for normal operations. This is pretty much how I operate the aircraft, and you'll get to see. So I'm going to get right into the route now. I'm going to be using the type feature, which is great that they added into it. It makes a huge difference and makes everything much faster, as you'll see. We'll spend minimal time on the ground programming the FMC, because now we can type it in rather than other things. I actually have to pick up some ATIS here, which we will do. 127.5. We'll come in here and tune in the 127.5. I'm also going to be doing a VATSIM video on this soon. Haven't got around to it. VATSIM's in my area. VATSIM really is only good in select times, select time periods. It's only really good at certain times. So you kind of have to balance your day and say, okay, I want to go this time, and try and get a VATSIM flight in, when sometimes it doesn't even work then. So I usually try to just get all my homework done when I come home, and if I wanted to do a VATSIM video, I'd have to go and neglect my homework for a little bit and do a VATSIM videos, which takes a little bit of time. So I'd much rather wait for a day that I don't have that much homework, so I can just come in here and come home and get one done quick. So our winds today are 140 at 10, and to get our charts, this is the first flight I'm doing out of this airport, so I'm sorry if I'm being rather newbie with this airport. I've never flown into it or out of it, so I need to find the runways available. Runways available are 24 and 06, so I guess we're kind of actually right in the middle. Either it's 140, so we could take either or. Pretty much gonna just be a cross one either way. So I wonder what we should do. Back in a second, I'll try and think. At this point, I'm going to turn on the APU. I kind of forgot to do that. Something that I usually do. And so based on the winds today, we'll just take we'll just take 06, as it will be a little bit less of a crosswind. A little bit less of a crosswind if we do 06. So we'll take today we'll take 06 left, just because it's a longer runway, especially with the slipping and sliding. 06 left here. Flight number is 3845. Obviously that flight number is not necessary, and that sound is really irritating. I'll try and silence that in a second here. I just have no idea what that problem is. I'm just gonna shut off that, because that is just annoying and I don't know why it's doing that. Sorry. Our 2972, which is odd actually. You'd think that it would actually be above 0. Current altimeter 10 p.m. GMT. Oh, that's the wrong airport. Whoops. CYUL. Nope. So our altimeter is 299.3. Will be, and there. That's the now the APU on. That sound has now gone away, thankfully. Just a second here. We're gonna come back into, before we put in our route, we're gonna go back to our takeoff and finish our takeoff data. We don't have a completely dry runway today, and we're gonna set our takeoff gross weight to 211. Just counting for fuel that will be dropped. And we will put these in. So now our V speeds are set. Now that our V speeds are set, we're going to come into our FMC and program our route. We come into our route here, go into our next page, click on the typing, and here we will start. Direct first is November Alpha Papa Echo Echo, then the Juliet 567 airway to Papa Lima Bravo. Next airway is Victor 104. Enter. All the way up into Bravo Tango Victor. We have a warning here. Also going to slap on that parking brake. For some reason that wasn't on before. Nothing wrong here, just giving us center fuel pumps warning because they're on. They shouldn't be because there's no fuel in there. After the BTV, it's going to be Victor 229 airway. After that, up into Echo Echo November. By the way, this flight is going to be broken up to parts. It'll be the takeoff, descent, and then landing. I'm not going to put cruise in there because cruise is just going to be nothing. Then Victor 431. Just so I can pretty much apply to everybody, if you only want to watch the landing and see how this thing is on approach and such, I'm going to give you that ability to, so you're not just stuck here the whole video waiting. And I hope that helps you guys out there. Standard mission departures. There's only one here for some reason. We're going to be off of 06 left. We'll get that in there. We'll see what this does to our route here. And it would be 520 then Vector. So we'll just go after Nepi. It's direct, and we'll just hit it like that. so it'll be pretty much the same as it was before. Just the 520 heading, and then turn off to the right. We're gonna come back to takeoff. Re-enter our V speeds. That's all set to go. I'm gonna come into here, disarm our auto throttle, and set it to our initial altitudes. We'll go for 212 on the speed. Initial altitude of 10,000 is just fine. And we'll get that going. So we will get our checklist going, just so we know that we're doing everything correctly. Pre-flight's complete. We're back to the normal menu. Before start, flight deck door locked and closed. MCP V2 heading trackers and altitudes are all set. Takeoff speeds are set. CDU pre-flight completed. Trim is in the green. Taxi and takeoff completed. Taxi takeoff briefing completed. And beacon. Beacon means that we're ready to go. That's what you have to have on before you start your engines. And now that's all that's left is the start. So now that we're ready to go, we'll come in here, get our engine display on the center, call up our ground people, and we'll have them start. And we are going to be shooting for 06 left, which is approximately that way. So we'll have them turn the nose to the right. Turn nose to the right, about 70 degrees will do. We'll give it a total distance of 300 feet. And we'll get it started.
Hi, Captain. We're all set to go up here. We've been cleared to push and start at your discretion.
Just gonna go through everything, make sure we are good. The S3 spark brake, parking brake is released. Set our flaps now.
Brake is on, third push.
We're ready to go. There we go, flaps 15. As soon as they give us the green light and they started to go, we will flick on our engines. Good thing about this aircraft can start both engines at the same time, within seconds of each other. So as soon as that one gets positive N2, we'll flick on the next one. And it's able to use APU bleed to start both of them at the same time. Saves a lot of time on the ground, not waiting here while one is running and the other is not. 20% in one, fuel is introduced. 10% one, fuel is introduced to the right engine. Now we'll watch the engines as they spool. As you can see, N1 is rising on number 2. It's about 5 now. And we'll get a N2 and EGT rise, as you can see. Here it comes. You can see we're turning nose right here, facing our taxiway. EGT rise on number 2. Both engines are coming up to about 20% N1, and when they're stabilized, we can turn off the APU. Now that we're getting here, we can turn on our nav, logo, and wing lights, taxi lights, and our strobes. Strobes are not necessary while on the ground, but I like to have them on just, especially in these conditions, so that other aircraft can see us better, especially because it's snowing, like I said. Push is now complete. As you can see, we have come out here pretty much perfectly on the taxiway now. Really only a small correction to get to the right and on to the taxiway. So now that our engines are all stabilized at 20.5% N1, we'll get our checklist back up as they're talking. Before taxi, anti-ice. We'll put our anti-ice on just, because we're experiencing some icing conditions. Anti-ice is on. Recall is checked. Auto brake set to RTO. Flight controls, we will check right now. I'm just trying to keep this as realistic as possible. If I were actually doing a VA flight, I would be doing all this. So this is just showing you how I really operate this aircraft. Full left, neutral, full right, all good, neutral. Full aft, neutral, full forward, neutral. Full left on the rudder, neutral, full right on the rudder. Flight controls, clear and correct. Free and correct. Whoops, I don't know why I said clear. That was my mistake. Ground equipment is clear and flight controls are set. And now we can just put it on the before takeoff. and that's all good. So before takeoff is actually complete now. So now we don't have to do that, and we'll keep it to the after takeoff just for when we're actually in there. So now we're ready to go. We can release the parking brake and get our engine started now. Spooling, sorry, to get us going. This airport is very high quality scenery. I'm kind of surprised that it really only has one departure, considering it's a really large hub of Air Canada, and it's a really large part of Canadian, just a large part of Canada, I would imagine. I mean, I'm not from Canada, so I don't really know much about it, but I would assume that, I don't know, I would have just assumed that it would be more than one SID. That's runway 10 there. We'll come over here and cross runway 10 on our way to 06 left. This is not really being used right now as per the winds. The winds actually are optimal for this runway, but it's only 7,000 feet long, and we don't really want to use this runway considering we're at a moderate weight right now, and it's just, if we can use the runway and get a little bit of a battle of the crosswind, I would trade the battle of the crosswind for 4,000 more feet of runway, because when it comes down to it, crossing runway, put on our land lights, when it comes down to it, more runway, we'll have more time to take off and more time to stop in case something happens. So that's my decision. I'm sure pilots in the real world get the decision as well. You can always request a certain runway. I've found that you can always request a certain runway. It doesn't mean they'll give it to you, but you can always request one, depending on the conditions. If you really want to, at my airport, we have 2 runways. One is much longer than the other, and if we have a jet coming into the airport, they can request a larger runway because they want more space either to stop or to either to take off or to land. We'll come up here, turn right up here on the left, and come to the end of the runway, which I believe goes all the way out there. I might be mistaken. Not quite sure how far it goes. See if we can take a look. Runway, all the way, goes all the way back there. So we'll take a left here on taxiway Bravo. Bravo off of Echo. A little bit to the left here on the taxiway, but we'll let that slide now. Try and cut this a little bit short. It's usually a beautiful taxiway. You can see the taxiway is reflecting off the ground. This is really nice scenery. I also just recently bought Dubai Rebooted from FlyTampa. I have to say FlyTampa has the best scenery that I've ever had for FSX. Really, I'm recently just been upping my my simulator. I'll be doing a Dubai. I could probably do another Dubai arrival video now. As soon as I finish this one gets rendering, I could probably go on and do a nice scenic Dubai arrival for you guys. It's a really nice airport. It's got some amazing scenery there. Just with Dubai and the entire surroundings, it's just crazy. So I definitely recommend that scenery. I definitely recommend this one too. It makes you want to fly to these airports more, so you'll be flying, widening your ranges, because I really only like to fly to airports that I have scenery for now, because really it just makes the experience better, and it makes it feel like you're actually doing it. Now that the wind is actually is behind us, as you can see, we're really not putting any power at all, and we're still maintaining our taxi speed. I believe the 2 runways cross at the end, so we're going to use runway 10 to taxi down to that end of runway 06 left, or we can just go this way across 10. Really is not important considering that there's actually no traffic on right now, and considering that we're really just at the end of the runway, so we're not going to need the remainder, which is really not much. Sorry if it looks like there's like a lot of bad frame rate. It's just the way that the FSX has the what's it called? The snow is not really great quality from FSX, So I apologize for that in advance. It's going to look pretty bad. So right here we come up to runway 06. Well, as you can see, that wind is really pushing us now, with really little to no input from the pilot. So now we're going to make our turn over to runway 06 left. And as you can see, really not much left of the runway, so we can really take the rest of this runway. There's not going to be a problem with losing 100 feet, 200 feet. Although it's always good to use the entire runway, we don't really necessarily need to at this point. So I'm just going to do a last-minute cockpit preparations. Instead of having our packs on auto, I'm going to turn them on to. I'm going to turn them on, just so we make sure that for some reason we don't have a technical difficulty and a technical problem that does something to make it malfunction. We'll turn our thrust asymmetry compensation is on, which is just saying if we lose an engine, it will compensate for that loss of thrust in that one engine with the other engine. So now we're pretty much ready to go. We'll apply full throttle slowly and evenly. We'll now switch over to our engine page just to monitor the engines as we spool to full power. You see, full fuel flow is rising. None of the instruments are in the red. I really like how the runway has snow on it. Really shows how realistic it is. Engines are looking good. We can now focus on this. V1, hands off the throttle. Rotate. V2. Positive rate, gear up. As you can see, we're going to be pulling out a huge rate of climb with this aircraft now, because we're very light today. Really, only ferry. It's like it's a ferry load. We're full of people, but very low on fuel, as we're not going to be needing much on our 200-mile journey. So here we are climbing out of Montreal, about 5,000 feet per minute, 5,700. An amazing climb rate for this aircraft. We're going to look outside, give you a nice view of the plane. We're coming out here, as you can see, there's the runway there. It actually compensated for my over-extensive bank angle. And now we're getting a little bit fast. We can pull out the throttle. There's really no problem with going a little bit above 250 knots in the real world. You know, obviously if you're going 280, that's not okay. But if you're going 200, you know, plus or minus 10 or so knots, there's really not going to be too much problems there. You know, people are usually nitpicky on the simulator, but there's really no reason to get too crazy about it, because they're really not incredibly serious about it in the real world. Obviously, like I said, if you're going plus or minus 30 knots, then that's a different story, or even 20, it's a different story. But plus or minus 10 or 5 is really not going to make a big difference. You know, that is okay for, you know, going 255, 257. You know, you don't really have to worry about that. You might get asked to watch your speed, which is rightfully so, because you don't want it to get out of hand. You know, it's a just remark. But other than that, you really aren't going to have to worry about much. So we're just going to pretty much wait until we intercept this. As you can see, this is a very powerful aircraft. You know, to compensate for this, we're going to raise our angle of attack to compensate for our you know, amazing gain in speed. As you can see, we're just now losing speed with an 8,000 feet per minute climb rate. Take another look outside to see the aircraft. See, very beautiful plane. I don't know why we're having some graphical glitches. Very beautiful. It's just crazy. And on the landing, I'll be showing you the as well as the cockpit. Obviously, you'll be able to see the wing landing. Obviously, it's telling us we are over our altitude, which we are. Our final cruising altitude will be 35,000 feet. We won't be doing a step climb, we'll just be going straight up. Now that we're above 10,000 feet, I will engage the autopilot and have LNAV and VNAV kick on, and let her take it from here. So, pretty much that's going to be it for this portion of the flight. That was the portion where you got to see us get it ready for the flight, and cruise and get up to cruise, near that, and take off, departure, and all that. There's not going to be a cruise video. There will be I'm sure you guys don't want to see cruise. The next video will be starting at the top of descent, in which you guys will be able to see that from the top of a descent all the way down to the ILS approach, and obviously taxi in. Really, you guys won't have to. There will be some preparation that you guys won't be able to see, but it's not going to be a big deal, as it's not really necessary for you guys to see. Also, actually, while you guys are here, I will come here. GDM is our last waypoint, so we will look for GDM in here. If we can't find it, we could choose another one, and we'll actually right now, as you guys are here, I'll look up the METAR for KBOS, which is Boston METAR, and I have it on static weather right now, so we're okay. We'll be on ILS 24, and we'll have to choose which runway. Runways 24 right and 24 left are going to be good for us. We have a direct 240 wind. It'll be a direct headwind landing. 22 is approximately 10,000 feet, so we're good. 22 right, we'll be on 22 left. That's the law. Actually, sorry, 24. For some reason, I have 24 on here and 22 in the real world. But we'll be on 24 left for our ILS approach today. It's a longer runway, and now we can switch on to standard now that we're above 18,000 feet, and we'll take the Carter 1 transition at PLD, which is already one of our waypoints, which means that we're in a good area for this. And it already starts up here, so we can actually take this PLB and bring it all the way up to this PLB that we're going for now, because we actually we'll actually make some amendments here to the flight plan. I don't know why let's take a look at this. Maybe it's a little bit confused, I think. YJN. Oh, whoops, we made a big mistake here. Did I not put the route in correctly? Let's go to route 1. I put the destination as CYUL-2. I bet you guys were telling me that before. What are you doing? What are you doing? Whoops. So now we'll come back into here and get our Boston arrival. I made a big mistake. Whatever. GDM, and we'll be on ILS 22 left. That's why it was ILS 22 left. Whatever. Transition Albany, transition Noli, and we'll get that in. And we'll be direct to Albany after PLB here. And there we go. That's all that figured out. Sorry about that mass confusion there. I was a little confused as to why I did that. Obviously, should have been paying attention a little bit more. My mistake. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I'll see you guys at top of descent, and I hope you guys enjoyed this part. And yeah, see you there.